but before we start, I just wanted to let everyone know that this presentation is being recorded. Welcome, second grade families. Our theme this school year is Building Leaders. We asked each second grader to share about themselves through a Me Bag. Now, you will get to learn about the second grade team. You will need to decide which bullet point is not true about each of us. Please put up a 1, 2, or 3 to show which statement is not true. So here I am, bullet point number 1. I worked as a dental assistant for 7 years. Number 2, I was the best reader in my second grade class. And number 3, I was on my high school golf team and still play for fun. Let's see which is not true. If you guessed number 2, you are correct. I was not the best reader in second grade, but I was the champion of Around the World with Fact Fluency. Now here is Miss Milliron.
Hi guys, I'm Jen Milliron. And my 3 things are I like to play basketball, I have a dog, or number 3, I was an engineer before transitioning to teaching. What do you think? If you guessed number 3, I was an engineer before transitioning to teaching, you were right. I was actually an interior designer before I began teaching. And now, Mrs. Richards.
Hi everybody, my name is Jennifer Richards, and my fact or fiction bullet points are: number 1, I am an only child. Number 2, I am a former District 97 student. And number 3, I got married this summer. And if you guessed number 1 as fiction, you are correct. I'm actually one of 5 kids. I have 3 younger brothers and 1 younger sister, and we all grew up here in Oak Park. So now passing it over to Miss Moore.
Good evening, my name is Sarah Moore, and here we go. Number 1 is I am a 3rd generation teacher. Number 2 is I was born with a tooth. Number 3 is I love seeing a family out to dinner all on their iPhones. If you guessed number 3, you are correct. I was born with a tooth, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah. And now, Mr. Dolan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Dolan. Hey, I can unmute now. So my fact or fiction statements are: number 1, I can break dance. Number 2, I had hair down to my shoulders in college. Number 3, I taught in my old high school before making the jump to an elementary school. And the fictional statement is I can break dance. I cannot break dance. I like to dance. I like to think that I'm good, but if I try to break dance, I will likely hurt myself.
All right, we have 2 primary goals for this evening. The first was for you to meet the Holmes Elementary second grade teachers and to give you an overview of what your child will be learning this year. Due to time restrictions this evening, we ask that if you have questions, please just email your child's teacher directly.
So just an overview of some of the things we're talking about. We are going to be talking about Reader's Workshop, Writer's Workshop, Word Work, Math, Project-Based Learning, Second Step, Hawk's Nest, Handwriting and Grammar, and the special area classes. The second grade curriculum is filled.
In District 97, we used a balanced literacy approach. And what this means is that a child will usually engage in all the different components of literacy in a given day. So your child will be writing, reading, listening to reading, engaging in shared reading, learning about word study, and doing some close reading and comprehension, usually all in one day, because all of our reading and writing is very intertwined in everything we do. So in balanced literacy, students see reading and writing modeled by their teachers. They share in reading and writing with the teacher. They're coached, and then they practice independently. And this is all within the workshop model. So our reading units align with our writing units in the way that when we read fiction, we write fiction. And when we're reading nonfiction, we're writing nonfiction. And the purpose of this alignment is so that our students think of themselves as both readers and writers, and they can notice what authors are doing and apply it to their own writing. Now, this workshop model for reading and writing is going to be one of the tricky parts of remote learning. So we ask for lots of patience as we navigate this new time with all of our literacy approaches.
There are 4 main topics covered in 2nd grade math in the math curriculum. As you can see, they're listed. Within these topics, our main focus is those major clusters. And those include adding and subtracting within 20, and that's where we're getting our fact fluency. Also, a conceptual understanding of place value, which then builds into the properties of operations. Measuring and estimating lengths, and solving word problems involving addition and subtraction. And our main curriculum that we're going to be using is Eureka Math.
So there are also 4 that we are going to be covering this year in science. And to teach science, we use the next generation science standards to drive our instruction. And that's done through the FOSS science kits. Now, these FOSS science kits are excellent resources with a lot of hands-on activities, investigations, and experiments. However, given the circumstances that we're in, we are going to make best with our situation, and we're already trying to make science fun and enjoyable. So we are going to be looking at physical science, life science, earth science, and engineering. And one of the most successful ways that we think we will be able to do this is by offering the students choice boards and through project-based learning. In addition to choice boards and project-based learning, we're going to be using those strategies in our social studies curriculum as well. And here, our big area that we concentrate in with social studies is communities. We start by focusing just on our Oak Park community, and we've already begun chatting about that this week. We're going to be comparing other communities to our own, and we're going to be taking a look at other cultures, traditions, and customs. We are going to be focusing on African American history, map skills, geography, and landforms. And we're going to end the year with government and citizenship. And once again, choice boards and project-based learning is really going to help the students make the most out of social studies and science.
So it seems kind of odd to be handing you all an iPad for your child to use and to talk about handwriting, but there's a whole lot of research that supports the teaching of handwriting and the act of physically writing from preschool all the way to college. There's a whole bunch of things actually that I just was scanning where they're encouraging laptops to be closed during lectures and actually have students write just because of that connection that from the hand up to the brain. It's the whole kinesthetic or movement kind of connection. So the first half of the year, we will be focusing in on printing. And at the bottom, it says to help us stress using lowercase letters and then uppercase letters when appropriate. There is a workbook that has just arrived that we will get to you somehow. And then after winter break, one of the highlights for many second graders is the learning of cursive because it seems kind of like a secret code. And so that is very fun as well. But you probably noticed that we sent a lot of workbooks and things home because we really do firmly believe that if we can have kids actually physically write on paper, that pressure that they feel will help stimulate things in their brain. So to be determined when you're getting the book.
All right, your child will have between 1 and 3 specials per day. Each week, students have library for 30 minutes, art, music, and PE for 60 minutes, and Spanish for 90 minutes.
So you heard in our school-wide, if you were there, that we are a PBIS school, which stands for Positive Behavior Intervention System and Support. So one of the big things with PBIS is making sure there's consistency throughout the school. And the students are quite familiar with this chart on the left here, but they're more familiar with this when we're in person. And it really takes our 3 big rules: to be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. And thinks about those in different settings. So the settings that we are going to be dealing with, at least for the time being, are Zoom lessons, breakout rooms and small activities, and independent learning time. And this is something that is accessible on the Holmes website as well. Students will also, just to have consistency across grade level and across the whole school, we do like to use hand signals. So we've got just some examples here of some visuals that students will be seeing across the entire school. More consistency that we use throughout the school is through Zooming. These Zoom expectations or Zoom etiquette reminders are something that we go over with the students basically on a daily basis, and students are getting used to it, and it's becoming more of a norm. So some of those, just to highlight, students are really good at actually being on time, but being prepared, participating, muting the mic when necessary, and being respectful for both while your teacher is teaching or while others may be speaking. And then morning meeting, we also have that consistency. And we like to do it where, as you heard with one of our goals, is to just ensure that the students are feeling safe and they have a sense of belonging at our school. So we are doing feelings check-ins every day, and we're doing a consistent Hawk greeting every day, that students have a choice to greet their teachers and greet their classmates.
So we as a 2nd grade team focus a lot of effort into social emotional growth and development. 2nd grade is a big year for problem solving, even remotely. These kids, we're working with them to be big problem solvers. So 3 programs that we use at Holmes School that help build the social emotional growth of our children are our 2nd Step curriculum, which is taught every week on Wednesdays, the Leader in Me program that you heard about earlier, and the 7 habits that we teach in Leader in Me are pretty much intertwined into all of our content areas. And then we have Hawk's Nest, which is going to meet every single month, and even virtually. So we'll have virtual Hawk's Nest this year.
So how can you support your child? So the big thing, and this is true even when we're in school, but it's even more important now, especially for those kids that are working at home. We want you to promote, or we hope that you can help promote independence. And so that means provide a quiet space for your child to do his or her work, prepare a snack and water bottle each day. And better yet would be to have your child decide what their snack is going to be, and they put it where is a good place for them to get it, and fill their water bottle. Probably if we were to redo our supply list, we might have encouraged you to buy a kind of bin that can hold all of their workbooks and things. We did suggest or ask that you get like a shoebox type size to put their tools, their crayons and things, but I think it would be helpful for them to have a kind of container for their materials. And then another thing that I know we've all mentioned is if you can decide ahead of time, whether it's each day or each week or just in general, when you do have a break, because we do firmly believe that kids need a break away from the screen, what can they do? And that really is something for you guys to work out. Now, one thing that was discussed in the earlier meeting that I want to highlight here is the best way you can support your child is to allow them to take the assessments without your assistance whatsoever. The only way we're going to know what we need to teach them is if they show us on the assessment. Even if they don't know how to do any of it, that is fine, because then that helps us know what to teach. As far as other things that you can do, view our second grade website frequently, check Seesaw daily, and even if your children are very proficient readers, taking time to read aloud, sharing a book together is such a gift to them and actually to you. So those are different ways that you can support your child. So if you have questions, please email whomever your child's teacher is, and we will get back to you. Unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity to do questions in this setting.
Thank you very much. Second grade rocks. Thank you.